No. Come on, where is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Out, 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 out. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
Pow day.
Dude, let's go.
1970 was the year my dad, a Boise firefighter, started sunburst painting as a side gig. His dedication and love for this community was always inspiring to me. That passion led me to start rowpaint.com, turning what began as his side job into a family business that's been serving Boise for generations. For over 60 years in the Treasure Valley, the Rowe family name has been synonymous with hard work, dedication, and commitment to the community that's given us so much. We are a family-owned business who are proud to be sponsors of Boise State Athletics, to serve not only Boise, but our neighbors across Idaho and the surrounding states. From my father's first brushstroke to numerous paint and coatings projects today, we're here to make Boise a better place, one project at a time. Power in people, pride in painting.
It's game day. Are you ready?
Let's go!
Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, RovePaint.com. Our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Jackson's, and our contributing sponsors, Signature Roofing, Western Collective, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Bousher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and Timberstone Golf Course. It's time for the Jackson's Postgame Show on Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the ICCU YouTube chat, and we'll include the best ones on the show. Or leave us a message on the Signature Roofing voicemail line at speakpipe.com/BNN. The BNN Postgame Show is presented by Jackson's, where 25 cents from each hot dog sold goes directly to the Horseshoe Collective to support Boise State student athletes. Need snacks, a coffee, or cold drink? Visit a Treasure Valley Jackson's today. The title sponsor of Bronco Nation News is RowePaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. For all your painting needs, check out RowePaint.com. Now, let's go courtside and join five-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, B.J. Rains, for the Jackson's Postgame Show.
Well, for the final time, Tyson Degenhart walking off the court wearing a Boise State jersey. The Broncos falling 79-69 today to Nebraska in the semifinals of the Crown Tournament, and it was some hugs and some emotional moments for Tyson Degenhart and the Broncos as Tyson Degenhart career comes to an end with 2,037 points, the single season scoring record, the career scoring record, and he scores 26 points in his final game. And Boise State will be left for the post-Tyson Degenhart era here moving forward with this program. Just an all-time great at Boise State, and very emotional post-game press conference. We'll get to that as well. And just tough for Leon Rice and Tyson Degenhart in this program to see their season come to an end a little earlier than they expected. 2 wins short of a championship. The Broncos falling 79-69 to Nebraska. How you doing? My name is B.J. Rains. Appreciate you guys for joining us. I'm with Bronco Nation News. This is the Jackson's Postgame Show. We appreciate Jackson's. Make sure you get that 99-cent coffee day or night using your Let's Go Rewards app at Jackson's. Jay Tuss from K2B going to join us momentarily as well. We're going to hear from Tyson Degenhardt, hear from Leon Rice, hear from Pearson Carmichael, and a lot to get to here as we kind of wrap up this game, wrap up this season, and put it all into perspective here as we turn our attention forward for the offseason and what this team does in the transfer portal, what this team does in terms of who they go add. Who they're able to hang on to. Does anybody else leave? Obviously, tough season for the Broncos, not making the NCAA tournament, but finished with 26 wins, one shy of the program record. Reached the semifinals of the college basketball crown. They were one of 8 teams still playing basketball this week today when they woke up, and just unable to get it done. And more importantly, unable to slow down Nebraska's three-point shooting. Nebraska, 12 of 19 from three-point range. This is a team that came in, folks, 240th in the country from three-point percentage, and they go 12 of 19 from three. They had averaged 32.6% on the season, and they come out and shoot well over 60% from three, and they go 12 of 19 from three-point range tonight. Let's put this in perspective here. You had Juwan Gary, a 31% three-point shooter, go 4 of 4. 4 of 4 tonight for Juwan Gary, a guy that was a 31% three-point shooter. So at times you just got to tip your cap or doff your cap, however you want to say it, and give them credit. I mean, there were some wide open ones, but also it's still, even with wide open threes, hard to go 12 of 19. So they just hit some big ones. Anytime Boise State would try to make a run, they had an answer, and they hit some huge threes, especially when they were building that lead there early, late in the first half and into the second half. But they also went 15 of 18 from the free throw line. So Boise State was winning 24-17. It was looking pretty good, and then just unable to finish the first half. I think there was a 20-5 run in there. It was 15-1 at one point, and Boise State just fell behind and never really recovered. So just a tough one for Boise State tonight. I mentioned Tyson Degenhardt finishing with 26 points, a game high tonight, 26 points for him, 14 for Meadow, 13 for Carmichael, 8 for Buchanan, 2 for Bowie, and 4 for Alvaro Cardenas. Not the best game of Alvaro Cardenas' season for sure. Goes just 2 of 8 from the field, misses all 3 of his three-point attempts, only had 4 points. Did have 9 assists, but 6 turnovers for Alvaro Cardenas today. It was a -7 out there. So heck of a season for Alvaro Cardenas. Just picked a rough time to have a rough game tonight. The 6 turnovers didn't help, as did the 2 for 8 from the field. Boise State goes 9 of 27 from three-point range, 33%. The Broncos overall shoot just 39.7%. So this team had been playing so well offensively. They had really been rolling down here, scoring 189 points in the last 2 games, but just unable to really get anything going offensively tonight, finishing with 69 points, and they shoot just 39.7% from the field. Nebraska had 11 offensive rebounds in this game, which they turned in to 8 second chance points. Nebraska also had 26 bench points. Boise State only got 12 points from its bench tonight. As we mentioned, Javen Buchanan, a guy that had 27 points in the last game. He has 8. Julian Bowie with 2. R.J. Keene was battling some foul trouble. He has 2 points. So the bench really didn't do a ton tonight. And I think Bob Beeler told me the stat on the way up here. Boise State now 1-6 when they get out or when they do not win the rebounding battle. When Boise State loses the rebounding battle, which they did tonight, 38-31, Boise State is now 1-6. And so that's a pretty simple staple of this program. Win the rebounding battle on the glass, and you're going to be in a position to win the game. And today, Boise State got beat on the glass and got beat in the game. Roy saying that 15-1 run late in the first half was the killer. Yeah, that was a massive run. Gave them the lead, and then Boise State was never really able to recover. Todd saying bad shooting, bad defense. Grand Tetons, decent year for basketball. NCAA tournament berth would have been better, but the CBC was fun. Yeah, it was, no one's denying that this was a better season than not making the tournament. Maybe winning the tournament would have been, but they didn't win the tournament. So, 26 wins, 36 games, I believe, is maybe the most in program history or close to it. So you got to see this team a lot, and it was a fun team to watch. Tyson and Al and all these guys, the 3 seniors that are out with Omar, certainly were guys that, you loved to, if you're a Boise State fan, you loved seeing them play and watching them and following their stories. And I enjoyed getting to know these guys and covering them the last couple of years. It's going to be weird. Somebody says going to miss Degenhardt, not sure what to expect without him next season. It's certainly going to be weird for me going into the gym, here in April and May and not seeing Tyson Degenhardt at a practice or at a game next season. it's going to be very odd. Tyson Degenhardt, as I said, over 2,000 points, 2,037 points to be exact. Gets over 2,000 down here. Becomes the all-time leading scorer in the last couple of weeks here as well. And so 26 points for him, but he has set a legacy that is going to be super tough for anybody to ever, come in here and top. And in terms of staying in a place for 4 years and what Tyson Degenhardt did, it's just not normal in college basketball. So he's going to be a tough one to replace. And certainly Tyson Degenhardt deserves all the praise and things that are, going to be coming his way here moving forward. But we'll get to the next year talk maybe a little later in the show. I know Jay Tuss is going to try to join us. We do want to hear from Leon Rice and some of the players and coaches here as well. It was a tough one, just a tough one. You really didn't think this was how it was going to end. You really just, really thought Boise State was cruising, and they were a team that was just going to win this tournament and do something special here on the way out the door. And they just couldn't get it done tonight. Just couldn't overcome the hot shooting from Nebraska. And just couldn't make enough stops defensively. Nebraska shooting 63.2% from three-point range tonight. So kind of like that Colorado State game all over again. You just, other team was super on fire from three, and you couldn't slow them down, and there really wasn't a whole lot you could do about it. And every time you tried to make a run, this is when I thought of the Colorado State game. I mean, it happened a couple of times where every time you tried to make a run, they would just hit a huge shot. And so Boise State had just made it almost impossible to get back in this game. They did have a chance where they cut it to 7 at 69-76. There was a 1-and-1 that was missed. This was with about a minute to go. A 1-and-1 was missed by someone on Nebraska, and they came down, and Cardenas had a chance at a 3, and that would have cut it to a 4-point game with about a minute to go. But the shot missed. Boise State had to foul, and that was kind of all she wrote. A little bit earlier, you thought Boise State was going to make a run. They cut it to 8, 56-64 on a Javen Buchanan bucket with 7:40 to go. But overall, that Boise State just really couldn't get much closer. Just every time, like I said, every time they started to pull a little bit closer, there'd be a huge shot from Nebraska to pull back ahead. So just a disappointing finish to the season. Boise State does get $50,000 out of this. We'll see how they disperse that and even that money up. So Boise State gets some money, and they're not going home empty-handed. I mean, that's $3, $4, $5 grand per player, depending on how they want to break that up. But certainly not what anybody saw happening here. Boise State ending their season with a 79-69 loss at the Crown Tournament down here in Las Vegas. Semifinals, great tournament. Thought everything was run great. I was very impressed down here, and I think Nebraska, if you're down here in Vegas and going to bet on that game tomorrow, I think Nebraska is in a really nice spot to win this tournament. They're a very well-coached team with Fred Hoiberg, and they do a lot of things really, really well. So Nebraska looks tough to beat, and we'll see what happens in the finals tomorrow. Right now, it is Villanova and UCF. There is 7:45 to go in the first half here in this one, and we'll wait till they put the score back up here on the screen. They've got this ribbon board here with no score on the screen, but UCF and Villanova, they're in a tight one here. 7:45 to go. UCF is up by 1. 30-29, 7:45 to go. UCF by 1. So we'll see what that ends up looking like on and when this game and then that final tomorrow. Hoiberg missed the 1-and-1, but made 2 after Boise State's empty possession. Yep, they fouled him, missed the 1-and-1, and then had kind of a rush 3 from Cardenas that would have cut it to 4, but missed it. And then, he made 2, and that was pretty much all she wrote at that point. Boise definitely battled, nothing to hang their heads about. Nebraska just has Big Ten athletes. Yeah, they just hit big shots when they needed to. I mean, they actually did a pretty good job on Bryce Williams, held him to 14 points, but he had 6 assists. And as I said, Juwan Gary erupts for 21 points, 31% three-point shooter on the season. He goes 4 for 4 today. And so 12 of 19 as a team. And sometimes you just got to tip your cap when they have a career game from three-point range. The free throw line was big for them as well. 15 of 18 was Nebraska from the foul line. So late in the game, they just had that one missed 1-and-1, but for the most part, didn't give Boise State much of a chance to try to pull off what would have been a pretty crazy comeback there late in the game. We'll take your thoughts on this game, on this season, on next season, however you're feeling right now, your emotions after a Boise State season ending loss. So the season coming to an end with a 79-69 loss certainly not a nice finish for Boise State as they fall to Nebraska today. The season is over. We want your thoughts, your comments on Tyson Degenhardt, on this season, on looking ahead to next season, anything you got. And of course, we need a player of the game here from Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. We're going to hear from Leon Rice and some players. We're going to hear from Jay Tust as well. A lot to get to here on the Jackson's Postgame Show. But first, I want to thank a couple of our great sponsors that make this show free of charge for you to watch on YouTube. And that includes Andy Rowe and RoePaint.com. ROE Paint.com. Andy Rowe and Company. We appreciate his support of Bronco Nation News and all your painting needs. Make sure you hit up our title sponsor, Andy Rowe and RoePaint.com. Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. If you're looking to, find a job, they're hiring. They'll take you at Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. You get more information, apply for a job at Taco Bell, and the food's pretty darn good as well. So visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. You will not be disappointed. Taco Bell Works. We appreciate the SON Management Group, the Nicolason families for their support of Bronco Nation News. Taco Bell, support the sponsors, folks. Go visit Taco Bell. Hey, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. I know they're sad to see Tyson Degenhardt's career come to an end here. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner in the Treasure Valley, but the easiest, that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Check out Idaho Central Credit Union. Make the switch today. You don't know what you're missing, folks. Rain's family, super happy we made the switch. We love ICCU, and you will as well. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Hey, how about, are you looking for a sauna? You looking for a spa for the back patio? Maybe a pool table for the garage, dartboard? They got you. TheSpaTeam.com. That's Snake River Pool and Spa, patio and game. Been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. They got locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. TheSpaTeam.com. Check them out. TheSpaTeam.com. And if you're looking for a quick meal, how about Jackson's? They got the $5 meal deal. 2 hot dogs and kettle chips at Jackson's. Go visit Jackson's for your snacks, your gas, all that good stuff. And if you need a coffee, 99-cent coffee day or night using that Let's Go Rewards app from our friends over at Jackson's. This is the Jackson's post-game show. We appreciate them for their support and their sponsorship of Bronco Nation News. We're diving back into the ICCU comment section here. So if you got a comment, a thought on this game, the season, whatever you got, we got that. And we're going to hear from Leon Rice momentarily. Deggy played the best ball of his career in the Crown. He's going to leave a worrisome void. 26 in this game, played very well in the Crown. Again, finishing with 2,037 points. Today, he set the single season scoring record. Now has the career scoring record, gets over 2,000 points. So just an unbelievable career for Tyson Degenhardt. Love the players and the team, but man, the season of mystery for Omar Stanley. I was talking to Jay Tust about that, and maybe we'll ask him when he comes on. But just a tough season for Omar Stanley. And really, when you want to talk about, I hate to put it on, one guy or one thing, but when you really want to talk about what happened this season, why did Boise State underachieve? Why did they not get to the NCAA tournament? Why did they have the season they had? I think it has to start with the regression of Omar Stanley and his season just not being as good as it was last year. If Omar Stanley gives you the exact same season he had last year, Boise State probably has a couple more wins and is probably in the tournament. And I hate to say it's his fault. It's not his fault. A lot of things went wrong. I'm not trying to single out one player, but for whatever reason, he really struggled this year. And as a result, Boise State struggled as well. I think they were expecting much more this year from Omar Stanley, and we may never know. Maybe we'll find out he had an injury or something he was playing through. I don't know. But that is one of the bigger mysteries of the season for sure, is what happened with Omar Stanley. And I think you can really point to the season, a lot of factors, a lot of reasons, but one of them certainly was what happened with Omar Stanley, because if he plays the way he did last year, I think this certainly would have been a different season. I hope James is kidding here. I assume he is. Leon just can't win big games. Leon, in April is now 1-1. 1-1 in the month of April for Leon Rice. So let's start here in the postgame press conference. I know Jay Tust is going to come up and join us momentarily, but let's start here in the postgame. You know what? We'll keep. Let's start the postgame press conference, and then we'll cut it off when Jay gets here. But Leon Rice, Tyson Degenhardt, Pearson Carmichael talking with the media after the game.
Yeah, this group, we've been fighting hard because we didn't want the season to end. We got a great group, as you heard me say a million times, and these guys want to keep playing, and that was a good team we played. We knew that, and I thought they played really good. And, our game plan, we were loading up on Bryce, and those other guys stepped up big. Those were crucial shots they made. And, it's a bit of a pick your poison. And those guys were good enough to get it done. And you know, they're so well coached, the way they guard and their game plan. I mean, they really caused us some problems the first half. I thought we got in a better flow. Only had one turnover in the second half. So we got a little bit going there, but they answered when we would make a run. They'd answer them pretty good. And, you know, we had a couple key possessions there with about 4 or 5 minutes to go that if we had a couple rattle in and out, if those go in, now all of a sudden you got a chance to make it a nail biter at the end.
Gary was only 31%. He goes 4 for 4, and then as a team, they're 240th in three-point percentage. They go 12 of 19.
Right.
Just them being hot shooting today. I mean,
Yeah, and they're hoopers. You know, I've watched them a lot because Fred's a dear friend, and I always thought, you know, when I watched them, Gary was kind of the X factor, underappreciated, and he does a lot of things, kind of the unplanned activity buckets that, you know, you do a good job in a possession, they kick it out to Gary, he makes a three, and that was a big key because we were cooking at the start. We were playing really good, and they kind of, I thought Gary had some big buckets then to keep things, you know, within 6, 7, that kind of thing. Yeah, no, he's a really good player and maybe an underappreciated player. But like I said, I've watched them a lot this year, and you know, he's one of those guys. And those guys are the guys that do the unplanned things, you know, where they're not maybe getting a ton of plays run for them, but they just make plays and they go make things happen. Great offensive rebounder. You know, he's been pretty consistent. I think, you know, if you really had a deep dive into that team, not having a week to prepare for him, but if you did a deep dive into him, you'd know that he's kind of when he plays good, I bet they've won most every game. That's probably what you'd find.
Over the last 4 years, you became Boise State basketball and pretty much represented everything that it's about. What are your emotions right now, bud, as you wear that jersey for the final time?
Well, it's hard knowing this day was coming either today or tomorrow. I'm just thankful. That's just, you know, not a lot of people get to do this, and to have a great coaching staff for 4 years and great teammates, you know, I'm forever grateful.
Could you ever imagine, I mean, I know that you'd rather set records and wins, but you're the career scoring record holder, set the single season scoring record today. You went to 3 NCAA tournaments. You ended up with 99 career victories. I mean, did you ever think that it would all amount to this when you committed to travel down to Boise State to be a Bronco?
You know, when it's all said and done, I don't think I would have thought that as a 16-year-old committing here. And you know, ever since that day, I've always known it's been the right decision. And these last 4 years have just made it like set in stone that this was the place for me. So just forever grateful for everything. And you know, it sucks, you know, losing your last game, but a lot of teams end their season on the last game. It's like 4. I mean, you got the NIT, this tournament, the NCAA tournament, and like the CIT. Like 4 teams out of 364 end with a win. So it's obviously hard right now, but I'm pretty at peace.
We ask young players at the end of your career what they took from the college career and their coaching staff. What did you learn from that young man to your life?
God, where do I start? That's the problem with Tyson. There's so many things you can talk about. I think the consistency, you know, I've never met a guy that's more consistent day in, day out, regardless circumstances, regardless of what happens, good or bad. You know, the basketball season's up and down, and, you know, the adversity you go through, and places you got to go play, and the travel, and their students, and all the things. I've never seen a more consistent person in my life, and that's hard. That's hard, especially as, you know, a student athlete, with all the things they go through, and so much that's put on them to be able to handle it the way he handles it. I mean, I could go on about 10 to 20 things, and I think Al will say the same thing. And oh, Peanut's here. I just thought it was Al. So, but I would like to hear what Peanut has to say about that too. But just, you know, he's been in our program for 8, 9 years because, you know, we watched him all these years. He came to our camps. He played with my sons. He, you know, represented our program and all the things he did for all the student athletes, all the people in Boise, what he's meant to this place. You just can't, I mean, he set a standard that really, really got through to all the other players, and we all learned a lot from him. So just grateful to have had these 4 years getting to coach him. You know, it was one of those big part of why we played in this. I wanted to extend our time together, this career together, and, you know, you just never want it to end when you get this special group and a guy like Tyson. So he talks about being grateful. I think everybody in Bronco Nation and myself included is pretty darn grateful.
That being said, with the complexion of college basketball in 2025,
Right.
it's very hard to define loyalty, or at least
Unique.
when it comes to certain players, right?
Right.
He easily could have been a blue blood somewhere, whether it's NIL or collective money, whatever it may be.
Well, he was at Boise State. He was, yes.
I bleed
Right.
blue. We
Yes,
bleed blue
that's
over
right.
here.
There you go.
Thank you.
So he was, and you know, it's important when you're having a great experience and when you're enjoying what you do and you stick with that, it makes you great. When you know, I remember somebody told me a long time ago, and it stuck with me forever. If you take a job for money, you're going to earn every cent. Well, it's that way in the portal. If you're just, I'm going to leave where I'm happy and mess that up and take the money, you're going to earn every cent. And I think you're seeing that throughout college basketball. I've seen some post-game press conferences of kids that have done that, and it was hard on them. And they traded happiness and a great basketball experience for money. And I'm not judging. I'm not saying it was wrong for them. Each situation is different, but there's a price. And if your decision's solely based on that, then you're gonna earn every dollar you make. And that's a great, you know, Tyson's a great lesson. I think he had an amazing career. Like you said, he's got an NCAA tournament every year. He's contended for championships every year. He's been an all-conference player. He's got the greatest teammates, the greatest administration that supports him, that takes care of him, helps him in every turn. And, you know, it's just been an amazing symbiotic relationship that he's had with our entire state and everybody in Bronco Nation and all that. So, you know, it's always a trade-off, and I'm just grateful that I had the 4 years and we had the 4 years with Tyson.
We'll get back to that here in a second here. Great stuff from Tyson. That's about halfway through the press conference. We'll play the second half here momentarily here on the Jackson's Postgame Show. Wanted to bring in our man, Jay Tuss. While we have him, you're busy getting ready for KTVB and your live shots and things, Jay, but 79-69, not the way we saw this thing finishing up.
No, I didn't. I didn't see Nebraska going 12 of 19 from three, to be honest with you. But we did bring it up on the pregame show, and he said, "How do I feel about this game?" I didn't want to dive in and say great because I didn't feel great. And that being said, I still didn't. I didn't think Boise State would go down because Nebraska, who, as you pointed out to me during the game, DJ, Nebraska's 3-point shooting is bottom third in the country, and they go 12 of 19 from three. It seemed like they could not miss. 12 of 19 from three is just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it was. And like I said, Jawan Gary, 31%, goes 4 for 4.
Yeah.
As a team, they're 240th at 32%, and they go 12 and 19. I mean, some of those were wide open, but still, every time it seemed like Boise State was trying to make a run, they would hit another big one.
Yeah. If they shoot even a little above their season average, though, that's a 12-point swing on the scoreboard. I mean,
yes.
I don't know. There's no real excuses to make. It is what it is. It's the game. Sometimes it gives, sometimes it takes. And tonight, they took 19 threes and made 12 of them.
Yeah.
I thought Boise State, actually did a pretty darn good job on Bryce Williams, though. I mean, that's a guy that averages 20 points per game. He can get hot in a hurry. They kept him to 14.
Yeah.
Jawan Gary really stepped up, 4 of 4 from 3. Again, a guy that shoots a little over 30% on the season.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just kind of is what it is.
No doubt, no doubt. Boise State, as Bob Beeler told me when I was walking up here, Boise State dropping to 1-6 when they get out-rebounded by their opponent. That's
that's a stat that we actually can point to. I'll take that good one. All right, Bob.
1-6 when they get out-rebounded, and they just that's kind of their formula, and they didn't win. They didn't win on the glass tonight.
That's been a massive formula for really the entire Leon Rice era, and not getting it done on the glass usually means that they do lose. They're -7. I think another thing too, and we talked about this a couple of times throughout the game. Javen Buchanan had a few buckets there, mostly at the free throw line. I guess his points were in the second half, but bench scoring was 12 points. He had not in favor of Boise State. Nebraska gets 26 bench points, and that was something where the first game of this tournament in the opening round, Boise State had 34 points off the bench.
Yeah.
In the quarterfinals, they had 38 points off the bench. And, up until a couple of those free throws, late in the game by Javen, there wasn't a whole lot of punch from the bench tonight.
No, and Alvaro didn't have his best game.
No.
6 turnovers, only 4 points. Did have 9 assists, but 2 of 8 from the field and went 0 of 3 from 3. And he missed a 3 when Boise State could have cut it to 4 there. They missed a 1-and-1. Hoiberg's son did, I think, when they're down 7. Boise State's coming down. He missed a 3, which would have cut it to 4, and then they had to foul, and they made 2, and that was kind of all she wrote there. But heck of a season. Set the single season assist record. Went over that by almost 100 or something. And
obliterated it.
You feel bad for him that his college career ends like this.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you feel bad just because Alvaro wanted to go to the NCAA tournament, and that's a big reason why he came to Boise State, and that wasn't a reality for him this year. But in terms of what he came to Boise State and did his final year, I mean, individually, he was extremely impressive, and hopefully he goes out with his head held high. And Alvaro Cardenas is a name that's going to be talked about at Boise State for a long, long time, because I mean, it took a while for anybody, even Alvaro, to track down the school assist record. And now, I mean, I don't know who comes here and does what he did in terms of dishing the rock out. That he put that one out of reach for a while, in my opinion.
And you do just wonder, man, if you'd had him for more than 1 year here, what this program could have done, particularly last year and then moving forward here. I mean, he was we saw him from afar, man, but getting to interact with him a little bit and get to know him a little bit, and just seeing his leadership on the court and off the court, Boise State could not have asked for more in their 1 year from Alvaro.
No, I really don't think so. I mean, now that the season's over, I get the real talk is that one way or another, and I feel bad for the kid, but Omar Stanley was not Omar Stanley this year. He wasn't Omar Stanley at the Mountain West tournament. He wasn't Omar Stanley here at the Crown. And I'm not the season does not fall on one player's shoulder, so I'm not even trying to come close to implying that. But the fact that they thought that was going to be a guy that averaged 14 and 8, probably at least.
Yeah.
And he didn't come anywhere close to that. And Boise State didn't have anybody that could protect the rim or any of that stuff. And
I said it earlier in the show.
That was a devastating blow. I mean, it's like you lost Omar Stanley off last year's team, basically.
Yeah, and I said nothing to get. There were a lot of reasons, a lot of problems. But if you do want to say, why did this team miss out on the tournament? Why did they underachieve this year? That's a very logical place to start, I guess. Is if they would have got the Omar Stanley they had last year, you would have been in a different spot. And I'm not trying to single him out, put it on his shoulders. There were a lot of issues with this team at times this year, but certainly his regression will be one of the bigger mysteries of the season.
I think that's a safe and fair assessment, and it's not too far off, and it's not too critical, because it's all pretty true. Tyson Dagenhart goes out with 26 points.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about him, obviously, and we're visiting for a couple more minutes with Jay Tuss, sports director, KTVB. You'll be watching his reports on KTVB this evening, Sunday Sports Extra tomorrow night as well. Doing a tremendous job with KTVB. We appreciate him jumping on for a few minutes. But, the big story in the postgame press conference, you heard it right there at the end. We'll get back to it afterwards, is just the end of an era with Tyson Dagenhart. And we started the show, Jay, kind of showing the final walk off the court for Tyson in his career. And it's going to be weird for this team, for this program. It's going to be weird for us going into a practice this summer and not seeing Tyson out there. I mean, that's the Ashton Genty era ending for the football team, and it's going to be very similar going into next season, the end of the Tyson Dagenhart era here.
He's a guy that I don't know how you just go out and replace. And you could find a way to probably come close to, replacing his production, if you will. Even that's going to be a tall order because he finishes, this senior season averaging over 18 points per game. And that's a lot of points for a Boise State basketball player. But I just think his character, as Peanut Carmichael pointed out in the press conference, who he is as a man off the court, he's one of a kind. He goes down for me as the best to ever play at Boise State. I honestly don't even think it's an argument. I don't. I think he is Boise State's version of Kellen Moore. I've said that for a long time now, and no, it didn't end in the NCAA tournament, but for him to set the career scoring record, go over 2K, first player ever to do that in program history, set the single season scoring record, to be one of the most consistent players ever, never missed a game, never missed a start since the 7th game of his true freshman season, was a part of 3 NCAA tournament teams. I mean, it literally just goes on and on and on, BJ. And for me, he's the GOAT. And I think that Bronco Nation should really, really appreciate whatever Tyson Degenhart was able to provide them over these last 4 years, because it was a really, really remarkable run.
No doubt about it. That is going to be one of the bigger storylines moving forward. And Jay, in the final couple minutes I have with you, I do want to kind of spin this forward a little bit. I mean, I know after the game when I tried to ask, not anybody, Leon gave an answer, but Pearson wasn't really thinking too much about next year. But if they're able to keep this young core intact, I mean, I think what Pearson Carmichael did to finish the year changes a lot of people. When a guy redshirts, you're like, we'll see. But when you saw what Pearson Carmichael can do, particularly early in this game, 3 for 3 from 3, was confident, was aggressive. I mean, you get another offseason for Pearson Carmichael in this program. Andrew Meadow continues to develop for a year. Javen Buchanan. I mean, if you keep that trio all here and get them, new NIL deals and keep all them happy and keep them, and you throw in the other guys you have coming back, the freshmen, the red shirts, the UCLA kid they've added in the portal. I mean, I know some fans may not want to hear it. Wake me up when they win a tournament game, whatever. I get it. But this should be another team, Jay, that's going to be competitive and fun to watch again next year.
I think the pieces are already there. I think the thing that's scary is that you did have some guys come here and play on national television.
I thought about that too.
Play pretty darn well. And if you would have asked me, after the season wrapped up last year, if Buzo was coming back, BJ, I literally would have told you like 98% sure. Yeah, I was very confident. And then we saw how quickly that can change. So you never know until the portal closes, because anything can happen. But it seems like there are some pretty positive indications pointing towards the fact that Boise State should keep a lot of this young core together. They've already, according to reports, added a point guard from UCLA and Dylan Andrews, who I think is a guy that people should be really, really excited about.
Yeah.
And now they still have a chance to, go out and figure out how they want to address their last scholarship or two if they want to do that.
Has Boise State ever beat a Big Ten team in football or basketball? Genuinely curious, not counting Oregon or Washington. They haven't played a lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think on the basketball side.
Football's been really – they haven't played very many Big Ten schools at all in football.
But next year, Jay, they're in the Maui Invitational. I'm sure that the brand is only going to continue to grow in terms of scheduling and things, but it's going to be a tough off season here, but you got to the semifinals of this tournament. It's a transition. I don't know if transition period is the right. I mean, you're moving on from an all-time great player, but I think guys like Pearson Carmichael are ready to kind of become the next Andrew Meadows of the world, are ready to become the next young stars of this program. And like I said, I feel pretty optimistic at this point. We'll see what they do in the portal, who they add. But, I mean, you look at where a lot of the points came from tonight. Carmichael, 13, Meadow, 14, guys that are coming back next year. I mean, like I said, there is, I think, some reason for some optimism here.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, it is such a tricky era to navigate a roster in any sport right now in college athletics. But it does feel like this Boise State coaching staff has done a pretty good job doing that. Like, it never feels like the cupboard – I don't even know the last time it felt like the cupboard was bare. They've always done a pretty good job of managing this roster, and you never have like too many seniors going out to where nobody's coming back. You can always kind of point to something as for some optimism, but the thing for me though is like Tyson Degenhart's consistency. The guy scored in double figures 35 times this year. I mean, what was her final record?
Something like
26
and 10.
26 and 10.
26 and 11.
11 because of today's loss. So, yeah, 26. So 36 times this year. He only missed finishing in double figures one time. That consistency is just insane. And I don't even know if the best player on this team next year would have a stretch like that.
Yeah. Well, what's your final thing, Jay? What's kind of just your lasting thought on this team, this season, as you get ready to write that script for your KTVB Sportscast tonight, get on a plane tomorrow and head back to Boise and transition back into spring football here. Just what's your lasting memory, thought of this team, this season, and just big picture Boise State basketball here moving forward?
It sucks that the Tyson Degenhart era is over. That guy brought it every day. He was great to us. Like, I mean, always real, never had attitude. Like, I mean, I don't know. His parents did an awesome job raising him is all I know, because Tyson Degenhart's outstanding. With all that being said, like, I do think it is safe to say that this season fell short of expectations. And if you do want to call it a bit of a disappointment, I mean, it was Tyson Degenhart's senior year, and they didn't make it to the NCAA tournament. And they didn't win $300,000 as a consolation prize at the Crown. So, fell short, I would say so. That being, I don't think it's some like crazy, drastic fall short of expectation scenario though. Like, I don't think it was a complete failure, but you
could have made an argument if they had won the Crown. But losing in this game and with everything else,
money would have cured some of those sorrows, especially within the team. I think in their expectations, but the season fell short of those expectations, and it just kind of is what it is. But 26 wins, still playing basketball for whatever reason, still here in April. I mean, I don't know. It still was a pretty darn good season. Just not quite. It just didn't hit the crescendo that everybody had hoped it would hit.
Yeah. No, it was a tough finish, and I saw somebody say give Tyson 49,000 of the 50. I mean, and then someone else responded, that's how you lose everybody off the roster.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you can't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. But tough finish, and we'll transition back into spring football next week. And what?
Yep, we will.
At some point here, Jay. Then the week right after the spring game, we got the NFL draft. And then we got, it never ends, man. It never ends. But I don't know what happened. It said my son doubled, and then now he's still batting. He went backwards, and now he's batting again.
Well, he probably doubled. It's just bad Wi-Fi.
I don't know what's going on. But anyway, Jay.
Speaking of kids, my daughter turns 5 on Monday, so the only consolation prize is I now make sure that I'm home in time to celebrate that.
Collins, early happy birthday. It's great, man.
Yeah.
Congrats. And, Daddy will be home tomorrow.
Yep.
My kids will be home tomorrow.
Way earlier than we thought.
Hope the keys still work for us in our door when we get back.
Amen.
But shout out to both our wives for holding down the fort while we've been gone this year. But, Jay, appreciate you, man. We'll be watching KTVB. Great work. Get back to work on that. And appreciate you for jumping on, man.
Sounds good, buddy.
There he is, Jay Tuss. Appreciate him for jumping on. We're going to hear some more from We're going to hear some more from Tyson Degenhart, Leon Rice, and Pearson Carmichael in just a second. But first, want to thank the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com, their support of Bronco Nation News. We appreciate them. All your Boise State gear, make sure you hit up the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Theblueandorangestore.com is where you need to go for jerseys, caps, bumper stickers, car flags, all that good stuff. Hit up the Blue and Orange Store online at theblueandorangestore.com. The greatest selection, the greatest prices, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Hey, Lithia Ford of Boise, lithiafordboise.com, lithiafordboise.com. Check out lithiafordboise.com. All your vehicle needs, whether it's at 2025, they got some 2024s, F-150 like the Raines family, they got some great options. Hit up our one of our biggest sponsors. We appreciate them. Talking of the NIL game and keeping people in town here. They're certainly doing that on the football side. We appreciate Jim Sturk and company at Lithia Ford of Boise. Hey, Matt Bauscher at Bauscher Real Estate. Number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Hit up Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. No home is too big or too small for Matt and his team. You can view them online, get more information on their services at BauscherRealEstate.com. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Hit up Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. All your grocery store needs. When you walk into the grocery store there at Ridley's, it's just a great experience and tremendous friendly environment. And if you download that Skip app, you can get savings up to 40% off. 40% off at the checkout line using Ridley's Family Markets and shopridleys.com. We are back on the Jackson's postgame show here. Let's get back to the second half of the press conference. Leon Rice, Tyson Degenhart, Pearson Carmichael, part 2 of the postgame press conference after the season-ending loss.
Think about the 4 years of your career here and what the future of this program going into next season. Without you, how do you kind of look big picture at the program here?
The program's in a great spot. Made the postseason I don't know how many years, but we made the tournament 3 times in a row and came to this tournament. It's in a great spot. We're flying private more. It's a credit to the administration and the way that Jeremiah and Cody help fundraise and get all these donations to help us. And I'm just hoping that this program continues to rise in college basketball and be one of the best programs on the west side of the United States.
Pearson, for you, what would you take this year getting to play alongside a guy like Tyson, and how, motivated are you for what's ahead for you here?
I mean, like he said, I'm just grateful I was able to play with him. My year obviously didn't start out how I wanted it to, but, just being able to, be in a program where every player and every coach trusts you, you're grateful. And Tyson's like Coach said, he is Boise State. He walks around downtown it's Tyson. And just him being able to take me under his wing meant a lot to me because I've never really had that before. And he's just an older brother that I needed, and it's just helped me develop my game.
I know you're probably not wanting to think about next year, but just going into the off season for you, getting this experience now and the last couple of months, what's kind of your mindset here? Is you obviously going to have a bigger role in this team moving forward?
Yeah, I haven't really thought much about next year. I was kind of looking forward to one more game with these guys, but I think next year we're fine. We're super motivated. Tyson and Omar Al, they showed the way, and we just need to follow their footsteps. If we do that, I think we'll be in a great spot. And our coaches are, they trust us, we trust them, and I trust them that they'll get us where we want to be.
You mentioned he's like a big brother, his persona in Boise. What's an invaluable lesson deep inside that you'll take with you next year from Tyson?
There's so many things I've taken from him. It's not even a lesson, but just one thing I take from him is just how great of a man he is off the court. Obviously he's a baller on the court, but you see this guy off the court, he talks to everybody. He's not I'm so big time, I am Tyson Degenhart. It's you can come talk to me, take pictures, just a great human, and that's just one thing I've taken from him.
Good question.
I know it's disappointing you plan not going to the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
What do you think of this venue, though? It's the first time in Las Vegas, the 2 venues that you got to play in.
Oh,
How tournament overall?
terrific. And everything, as I looked around every corner and every day that we got to be here, it was just a first-class operation. And I knew it would be because I knew who was running it and who was in charge of it. And Fox did an amazing job with this. And it was kind of exactly what we needed, I think, for our team. But I was so impressed. I think it's going to take off. It's a great concept. And to have it this good in the first year is impressive, really impressive. Because that's hard. Sometimes there's going to be blind spots. You don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to work out. And it seems like every ground ball was ran out. And I couldn't be more impressed. So I want to thank everybody involved in this tournament, because we were treated so great and first class all the way, and that's what you want because that's what these teams deserve, and that's what these young men deserve, and that's what we got. So I couldn't be more pleased. I could have been more pleased if we would have won one more game or two more games, but I don't think they could control that. So, but we're so happy and grateful to have got this opportunity. So thanks so much.
For just the young core that you have coming back, and
Yeah.
the additions you could make in the portal and things.
Sure.
How do you feel, big picture, going into the offseason next year?
So great, because the standard, each team sets a standard and example, and then it's these guys' job, we're passing it to some more great ones that, and their job is to be better. And that's quite a standard to live up to, and that's what they want. That's why they come to Boise. So, that next group can do things the other group hasn't done, and that's why we love milestones in our program. I mean, we played more games than any other team. We won 26 games, I think, and all those great things that you do, you're always like, oh, that was the first time you did this. That was first, and it's their job to exceed what the previous group did, and we've got some great young ones that have bright futures, and that we can build on, and a great nucleus and a core, and we're gonna we protect who gets to come into this program, and we will only have the right guys, because there's a lot going on in this world of that, but one thing we always protect is who gets to be in our locker room with us, because it's a sacred. It means everything to Tyson, and we want those guys to be proud of it, all our alumni, and they are. There's a bunch of them here. There's, and we it's our job to keep growing this program, and that's what we're going to do.
Just thank you, for embracing me, embracing my family. Every person that came up and talked to my family was super nice and welcoming, and I'm just super thankful.
Well, Tyson Degenhart getting emotional there on the way out. Super thankful was the words there. And yes, I actually did talk to Tyson about that after that, right 20 seconds after that video ended. There will be a final Tyson Degenhart show coming up in the next week or so, maybe sometime this week. Yes, there will be another Tyson Degenhart show. He actually was the one that said it to me. Let's do another show. So we will have a way to wrap up the season with Tyson Degenhart coming up. Yes, that will happen in the next couple of days, so stay tuned for the Tyson Degenhart show. Hey, transportation compliance service, transcompservice.com. You can get into the trucking industry every step of the way, all the paperwork and things you need. Transcompservice.com, transcompservice.com, 866-813-7620. Transportation compliance service. Get into the trucking industry, all the paperwork and things you need at transcompservice.com. Lean Feast, leanfeastmeridian.com. Leanfeastmeridian.com is the website. If you are wanting to eat healthy, wanting the convenience of popping something in the microwave for 2 minutes and eating some great, delicious food, then I highly recommend our friends over at Lean Feast, leanfeastmeridian.com. Healthy eating options at Lean Feast. Hey, Signature Roofing sponsors our speakpipe.com/BNN voice inbox line. If you want to leave us a voicemail on the season, on Tyson Degenhart, on the future of this program, whatever you want to do, let us know. Speakpipe.com/BNN. Signature Roofing, brought to you by mysignatureroofing.com. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, an inspection, they got you covered online. Signature Roofing at mysignatureroofing.com. We'll get another RJ Keene appearance coming up from that. We'll try to keep RJ Keene's appearances coming on a semi-regular basis as well. And as Guy says, can't wait for the RJ Keene show next year. Yeah, maybe RJ Keene is the guy that will take over as the show host next year on BNN. We'll have to see. Grand Teton saying the time flew by for Degenhart. Wish he had a COVID year. He is definitely a Boise State legend. And that's the crazy thing about Tyson Degenhart. He did not have the COVID year. He only played 4 years and had the impact that he did and all the things that he did a 4-year career. And what else is crazy is he came in with R.J. Keene, and R.J. Keene still has 2 years of eligibility left. Pretty crazy for R.J. Keene with a red shirt and an injury red shirt that those guys came in together 4 years ago, and R.J. Keene still has 2 years of eligibility left for Boise State. So 79-69 is the final. Boise State falls to Nebraska. The season ends 26 wins, 11 losses. We're going to give our Matt Bauscher Real Estate Player of the Game to Tyson Degenhart. 26 points in his final game as a Boise State Bronco. 8 rebounds, 2 assists. He played 35 minutes and 22 seconds, 4 of 9 from three-point range. He had 2 steals as well. Tyson Degenhart is our Bauscher Real Estate Player of the Game. Bauscher Real Estate, check them out online at BauscherRealEstate.com. Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Again, final 79-69. The offseason, now the attention turns to the offseason. The portal is open for another 2 to 3 weeks. Does Boise State lose anybody else to the portal? Who else do they look to add in the portal? I do think there is a chance this team could be really good next year. They just have, got to have guys stick around, and they got to hang on to this nucleus. And if they do that, I think that they really do have a chance to be another contender for a conference title and an NCAA berth next year. I think the UCLA point guard was a huge addition. If they can go find a big in the portal as well, I think that, obviously is something that could be a big deal for them if they can add the right player, in the portal. And like I said, the big thing right now is just keeping everybody you got. Keep all your key players and just try to, keep everybody around for next year. And if that's the case, I think this program's in pretty good hands moving forward here. And guys like Pearson Carmichael and Andrew Meadow are ready to emerge as flat-out stars in the Mountain West here. And they got the Maui Invitational coming up. They'll schedule hard, as they usually do as well. So a lot of reasons to be excited. I know right now is not the time to think about it. And it is going to be really, really tough. Let's not underestimate it. I mean, losing Tyson Degenhart, Alvaro Cardenas, Omar Stanley, going to be massive losses for Boise State basketball. But the fact that they bring a nice core back and have a chance, I do think they have a chance, to have as good, if not a better team next year, depending on who stays and who they're able to add. So that'll wrap it up. A season in the books. The final Jackson's postgame show of the basketball season here. Mike Prater and I on Monday morning will put perspective on this and wrap it all up Monday morning with Mike Prater at 9 a.m. I'm going to get back to Boise and missing one of my kids' baseball games today. Hopefully we'll make the other kids tomorrow, but been a long season. Excited to, be in Boise for a couple weeks at least before hopefully going to the NFL draft, and then not a ton of travel after that. So looking forward to catching up on some family time and starting to get back in shape and then start gear up for the off season and football season here. So we'll have a couple weeks of football spring coverage for you. 2 weeks till the spring game, so we'll have you covered with all the spring football talk the next couple of weeks. And then we'll get into our off season series, kind of recapping basketball and looking ahead to basketball and football. And we'll still have 9 a.m. morning shows Monday through Friday every day moving forward here at BroncoNationNews.com. 9 a.m. Mountain Time, Monday through Friday. All the way through the summer. So appreciate you guys for sticking with us all year. It's been a fun year. I know it was a disappointing year to some, disappointing finish for sure. And it is what it is. The season's in the books, and the Broncos 26 wins coming up short here in the in the semifinals. By the way, Antonio Spaghetti is one of our trolls that likes to infiltrate the chat here. I'll see if I can find his comment here. I never said this is the greatest season in Boise State history. Just so you know, I literally never said that. So if you're gonna put out tweets and comments and stuff, at least be factual. I said if they win the next 2 games, if they win the tournament, you could make an argument. It would be in the conversation for greatest season ever. I never said it already was, no matter what happened moving forward here. And I even said if you win the tournament, it probably doesn't pass the 2022 team, but it would at least be in the conversation. So, Antonio, I assume you're just trolling, but if you want to go back and find what I said, that's not what I said. I said if they win this tournament, you can make an argument or at least have a conversation about it. I never said it already was the greatest season in program history. So appreciate you for watching, Antonio, but be factual with what you're saying in the chat, because that's flat out not what I said. So I I'm looking forward to getting back on the football train. I feel like I've missed some of the spring football coverage, being down here all week and being at the Mountain West tournament the first week. So been tough with the schedule here, focusing on basketball. But we'll get back to football the next couple of weeks. We'll have plenty of coverage for you every day. Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com. Brock says thanks for the coverage. Out-of-state fans keeps us connected to the school and city. Brock, appreciate you for saying that. Sick Modern, appreciate you as well. So, thank you guys for all the kind words. It's been fun. Been a fun season, and looking forward to already for the future here for this program next season. So we got plenty more basketball coverage to come. I'm going to write a story. You can read it at BroncoNationNews.com. And as I said, all week we'll start to by the way, UCF 54-48. I did not see this coming. UCF without their best player in the transfer portal. I think their best two players are in the portal, and UCF's up 8 on Villanova here early in the second half. So let's see what else here. We got our man AP chiming in. Hadn't heard from AP the last 2 games, and they were winning, but he's ready to go as soon as they lose. So you never see him to amaze, AP. But thanks for the video view. We always appreciate that. Appreciate it. That'll wrap it up, guys. Season in the books. Boise State goes 26-11. They fall in the semifinals of the college basketball crown. Full coverage. Make sure you're watching Jay and the crew, KTVB, tonight, the rest of the weekend. We'll be back Monday morning at 9 a.m. with a season recap and perspective and a look ahead. Certainly disappointing finish. Disappointing season, not getting to the big dance. Disappointing to have the Tyson Degenhart, era end like this. This program doesn't typically have 2 quote-unquote disappointing seasons in a row. So I would expect them to get back on track and add to this roster and have a chance at a big year next year. So appreciate you guys. Thank you, as always, for following us. We have surpassed 1 hour here on the Jackson's Postgame Show. So hit up Jackson's, get that 99-cent coffee with that Let's Go Rewards app. Hit up our title sponsor, RoePaint.com, Andy Rowe and Company, RoePaint.com. We appreciate Andy Rowe. All your painting needs, hit up our title sponsor. And of course, all of our sponsors, hit them up and use them and support them and tell them thanks for supporting Bronco Nation News. And if you have it in the budget, we love a subscription. $50 using that promo code BNN50 deal gets you a full year at Bronco Nation News and BroncoNationNews.com. So have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy the Final Four tonight. We'll see you Monday morning back in Boise. Again, season ends with a 79-69 loss to Nebraska. They'll play for the college basketball crown tomorrow. Boise State will head back to Boise, and the offseason begins, unfortunately, for the Broncos. Have a great rest of your evening, your weekend, and we'll see you Monday. Signing off for the final time from Las Vegas, BJ Rains for the Jackson's Postgame Show, Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.
Bronco Nation News is presented by our title sponsor, RoePaint.com. Our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, Lithia Ford, the Blue and Orange Store, Jackson's, and our contributing sponsors, Signature Roofing, Western Collective, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Boucher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and Timberstone Golf Course.
If you think I'm pretty, lay your hands on me. No, you can't stop thinking about it. I know that you're shitty and you're bad for me, but I can't stop thinking about it. If you think I'm pretty, lay your hands on me. No, you can't stop thinking about it. I know that you're shitty and you're bad for me, but I can't stop thinking about it.
It's game day. Are you ready?
Let's go!